focus. Ideate, innovate, enable.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Decoding Business Growth. I'm Sumaira Abdi. Now, in a manner of speaking, you could call this one an uncomfortable truth. Till the late 80s, India never had amusement parks that even remotely resembled Disneyland. So one could say with a reasonable degree of confidence that at least one generation grew up riding merry-go-rounds or giant wheels at some local melas. They all literally missed the roller coaster rides. But better late than never, they say. Well, India got its taste of amusement parks when a Sweden-based NRI set up Appu Ghar in Delhi in 1984. And for the first time, Indians experienced some 20 different kinds of thrilling rides. Soon others like SL World and Ramoji Film City sprung up. Yet, compared to the West, the number of amusement parks in India is few and far between. Take, for instance, the US. Well, they have over 400 amusement parks. Their top 20 theme parks attract 13 crore visitors from all over the world each year. The UK, for instance, has 300 amusement parks and their top 20 draw over 5 crore visitors. So clearly, India pales these countries on all fronts. So it was these poor numbers which encouraged K. Chittilapalli of V-Guard fame to diversify into this sector some 15 years ago by setting up Wonderla Amusement Park in Kochi. The result? It was a runaway success. So he tried his luck again in Bangalore. Once again, that was a winner. Well, this encore truly inspired their investors. The Wonderla Holiday IPO was oversubscribed 38 times in 2014, and in a year's time, their shareholders got a handsome return of 125% on their investment. So take a look at the Wonderla Holiday story. What can I say? It's truly exciting.
Its growth has been as fast and as exciting as its rides. In a span of 15 years, the Bangalore-based Wonderla Holidays has become one of the largest operators of amusement parks and resorts in the country. The company, which operates 2 amusement parks under the brand name Wonderla, offers a wide range of water and land-based attractions to people of all age groups in Bangalore and Kochi. The result? Both the parks put together attracted a footfall of 18.42 lakh between April and December 2014. The company's journey began in 1998 as Viga Holidays and Parks. Its first amusement park, named Vigaland, was launched in the outskirts of Kochi over a sprawling area of 93 acres in 2000. And sure enough, it was a big draw. In the first year of operation, it attracted 5.13 lakh visitors, giving an average realization of 192 rupees per visitor, and this enabled the company to clock a turnover of 9.83 crore rupees. Today, this park, which has a combination of 59 rides, including water, has become the most attractive destination in Kerala. Over 1.25 crore people in the last 15 years have patronized this place. Overwhelmed by the success of Vigaland, the company launched its second venture in Bangalore in 2005. This amusement park, considered to be one of the biggest in the country, is spread over 82 acres and was launched under the brand name of Wonderla. Housed some 28 kilometers away from the Bangalore city, it too has 59 thrill-packed rides which provide a monster dose of entertainment and fun to its stream of visitors. Little wonder Bangalore Amusement Park too has been a big hit. It has attracted over 80 lakh visitors in the last 1 decade. Now, even Kochi is rechristened Wonderla. So who is the moving force behind this success story? It is Kochusef Chittilapalli. Chittilapalli was born in 1950 into a middle-class farmer's family at Thrissur district in Kerala. He went to a local Malayalam medium school in Parapur village. After schooling, he did his masters in physics from St. Thomas College, Thrissur in 1970. Soon after that, Chittilapalli joined a local voltage stabilizer manufacturing unit. This is where the seeds of business were sown. Sensing a great business opportunity as load shedding was frequent in Kerala, the 27-year-old Chittilapalli borrowed 1 lakh rupees from his father to set up a small unit to manufacture stabilizers. Thus was born the V-Guard brand in 1977. Spurred by its success, the group diversified into apparels, lingerie and amusement parks and resorts. With too many lines of business, the senior Chittilapalli quickly inducted his son, Arun Chittilapalli, on the board to run the amusement park business. Arun, who had then completed his master's degree in industrial engineering from Australia, knew the dynamics of the Kochi park and initiated the Wonderla Parks and Resorts in Bangalore in 2003. And under his guidance, the project was completed in 2005.
The strategy for the business was basically to build an amusement park which is affordable for the Indian public. We could not afford to bring a big name like a Disney or anybody to India, and because we felt that that was too expensive for the Indian customer, and so that made us think about the amusement park industry in a slightly different sense, and we decided to do it on our own. On a very small scale outside Cochin, and that's how the company was formed.
What attracts people to come to Wonderla is the fact that they can buy packaged food inside the park at maximum retail prices, unlike other parks who charge 50 to 60% markups over MRP. The other major differentiating factor between Wonderla and its competitors is that the company has robust in-house ride manufacturing capabilities at Wonderla Kochi. This gives the company a competitive advantage in terms of cost saving to an extent of 50 to 60% for imported rides and approximately 30% for domestic rides. It has constructed over 42 rides in its in-house facility. In 2008, Viga Holidays and Parks was merged into Wonderla Holidays. In 2012, Wonderla Bangalore diversified into hospitality by setting up Wonderla Resort, a 3-star leisure hotel. It is the first amusement park in India to house a resort. Clearly, all these strategies have paid off and put Wonderla on a strong growth path. Its strong marketing drive has seen footfalls at both the parks going up from 14 lakh in FY 2008 to 23 lakh in FY 2014. This gives it a CAGR of 8.08%. The volumes have resulted in good realization per visitor. And this constant stream of visitors and good realizations is visible in its financials. Its turnover has grown from 30 crore rupees in FY 2008 to 153 crore rupees for 9 months ended FY 2015. Likewise, its bottom line, which reflected a loss of 5 crore rupees, now stands at 44 crore rupees during the same period. The success of both parks saw planning for 2 more such parks in Hyderabad and Chennai. To fund these 2 parks, the management decided to tap the capital market in 2013, and they were in for a big surprise. The company's strong business model and financials saw investors eagerly subscribing to the company's IPO. The 181 crore rupee issue was oversubscribed by 38 times. In other words, it garnered a staggering 6,800 crore rupees by way of application money.
Wonderla decided to go public sometime in 2013. It just so happened that by the time everything was done, the general elections were announced, and everybody was apprehensive about our IPO going through, at that time. And for almost 15 months before our IPO, no IPO had been successful. So I think everybody was pretty apprehensive. But I think internally we were pretty confident, and we knew that our business model was sound, and our plans were pretty solid, and it was pretty straightforward, and we were raising funds for a new project, and we were relatively debt free. So I think we felt that we had the merit.
Well, not only Chittilapalli, even investors are having a real joyride as the stock has appreciated 128% over the IPO offer price of 125 rupees. On that note, it's time for a short break. When we come back, CNBC TV 18's Sumaira Abdi talks to Ajay Saraf of ICICI Securities to decode Wonderla Holidays' success story. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Wonderla Holidays has performed exceedingly well at the stock market. In a short span of 4 months, the investors are laughing away to the bank with a return of close to 180%. Sumaira Abdi caught up with Ajay Saraf of ICICI Securities to get a peep into an investment banker's mind on Wonderla holidays.
First step to begin with, what is the reason that you're betting on Wonderla?
Well, Samara, if you look at Wonderla, it's been in business for a decade, as a established track record in operating 2 amusement park, getting into the 3rd amusement park, very, very experienced management, good operating parameters under which it operates, a very loyal customer base, and it's been growing, a price point which is affordable and seen as reasonable by the consumer. And that kind of gives us a lot of confidence in betting on Wonderla.
So you mentioned the loyal customer base, right? So especially Kochi and Bangalore are 2 cities where they have the first mover advantage. Is this strategy working out well for them to localize their interests?
Right. What they do is they have a lot of in-house manufacturing, engineering, capabilities that allows them to constantly innovate to the local requirements. Whatever the consumer taste are, whatever they want. So they've kind of helped them to be ahead of the curve in terms of competition among the peers there. And it helped them to kind of do whatever they have to do in the next amusement park, which is coming up in Hyderabad.
Leverage taking abilities are rather conservative, right? But could that be a constraint for them in their growth strategy?
Well, every promoter has a different way of style of working, and the way Wonderla management they have worked is that they keep a lower leverage. They expand through their operating cash flows, and that's it's a very conservative way of growing, but it's also getting rewarded in the market. The kind of multiple you are seeing which this company command today is because of their higher ROE, higher margins and lower leverage. And I think it's working out well for them.
So, when they came out with their IPO roughly about a year back, the IPO market itself wasn't booming, and yet the Wonderla Holidays IPO saw 38 times subscription. Is that the kind of response you think they could continue to see from the market even going ahead?
Well, if you step back, even at the time of the IPO, there was, if you look at it, it was a difficult operating environment because the primary market hadn't seen too many issues in a year preceding that. But we decided to kind of go ahead based on whatever we've said earlier. If you look at it for the story going forward, they have another amusement park coming up in Hyderabad. And the ability for the management to deliver the amusement park on time and run it the way they have ran the other 2 amusement park will kind of actually see the multiples be where they are. It's already at pretty high multiple they command. So for that to sustain, they need to deliver Hyderabad well to the market.
So Ajay, the same set of promoters of V-Guard Industries, right, are behind this entity as well. Now, V-Guard has turned out to be a 7 times multi-bagger since their IPO. Could Wonderla better the track record?
Wonderla is already is already in a sense is a multi-bagger. It's kind of up more than 2.5 times since last 1 year. What will work for Wonderla is how they deliver the Hyderabad park on time and the experience which they can replicate out of the Kochi and Bangalore parks. That would kind of help them to get to the next level.
All right, Ajay, thanks so much for speaking with us. It's a pleasure having you over.
Thank you so much.
Well, that was Ajay Saraf's clinical analysis of the company. On that note, it's time for another short break. When we come back, we look at the road ahead for Wonderla Holidays. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Wonderla Holidays IPO not only saw a huge draw in the primary market, but also evinced the interest of big-time private equity players across the country. Sumaira Abdi caught up with Gopal Srinivasan of TVS Capital Funds to understand what attracted them to Wonderla and their investment philosophy.
Gopal Srinivasan, CMD at TVS Capital Funds, now joins in. Hi Gopal. First up, what is it that made you invest in Wonderla Holiday?
The first is we really like the promoter family. Mr. Kuchaus of Chitlapalli and his track record in V-Guard, and Arun in his own personal capacity as the MD of Wonderla. The promoters come with a track record of achievement, credibility, and more critically, we really like their passion and their ethics. For example, when we looked at the way food is priced in the park, so much of attention is paid to making sure it's affordable to the park entrants and the park guests. Even at the smallest level of detail, we found ethics everywhere. Second thing we liked is their passion. The engineering ability of the whole group has been brought to become a way in which they can keep the capital goods at a very attractive level. Their passion is very, very high. I don't think anybody has visited as many amusement parks in the world as Arun personally has, and Mr. Kuchausaf himself. So their passion for engineering brings down the capital goods cost of the rides. They select the safest and most reliable rides. So we love this combination of capability and success combined with ethics and passion for the business. That is from the promoter side. The second thing is we love the business model. We really are not fans of this mega type of parks with very high ticket prices and very high capex, which we looked at also. We think that the middle of the pyramid, if you were to use that expression in India, which is the middle class consumer, is really where the action is. The Wonderla model speaks very squarely to that audience, whether it is their park in Kochi, their park in Bangalore, or upcoming park in Hyderabad. They address the middle class with their prices in the mid-hundreds range rather than in the thousands range per person. We think that is where, with urbanization and also a lot of migrant labor, there's a tremendous amount of need for amusement and entertainment in a clean and healthy way, which Wonderla provides. So we like that model. The last reason, if I could take, that's a business model reason. The last reason is really the fact that we think this asset is in shortage. There is really no other high quality, standardized, middle class amusement park asset in this country across the land. And we think Wonderla can provide that. So we were impressed with the promoters, we were impressed with the business model, and we like the fact that it was also in shortage, which is why we think is part of the reason why the pricing has done so well.
Okay, so how would you rate this company if you were to compare it to their competitors in India as well as globally?
Basically, when you look at the company, in India you have a set of fragmented local level parks in different cities. Very few people have thought out the complete infrastructure, the guest experience, and also the deep understanding of the machinery that the Wonderla group, especially Arun and his father, Mr. Kuchausaf, bring. So we fundamentally like the fact that they can create a national platform. The brand can be recognized nationally in the long term with TV advertising. So in many ways we compared this with projects like Six Flags in America, which would be an equivalent competitor to them. And we actually, in our evaluation, use a lot of people who invested in Six Flags as references for making this decision. We found it actually competes very well, and in my mind it's positioned to be the Six Flags of India.
All right, Gopal, thank you so much for joining in with your thoughts.
India's amusement park industry stands at $0.4 billion compared to the global amusement park size of $25 billion. Wonderla is well poised to capitalize on this opportunity with its many future expansion plans. Its amusement parks in Hyderabad, for which it has acquired 50 acres of land, is expected to be commissioned by April 2016. It is also looking for suitable land in Chennai to open its fourth park.
I think our plan is to move slowly north. We would look at Pune, Bombay, Calcutta, Ahmedabad. These are all places that we are considering. The fact that there are other amusement parks will not deter us because we feel we have a slightly differentiated offering, and we will be able to make it work because I think no two amusement parks are the same.
All in all, Wonderla Holidays seems all set for an adrenaline rush propelled by improving discretionary spends, rapid expansions, and a good brand equity.
Well, the company seems to be on a roll. They've emerged as the 5th largest amusement park in Asia. But going by the promoters' big plans in terms of expanding their footprint into a few more states, we could very well see Wonderla's ranking move into the top 3. And going by their past performance, Wonderla Holidays, which actually provides a monster dose of entertainment and fun to millions of visitors, could actually see their investors too smiling for a long time to come. On that note, it's time to say goodbye. We'll see you next week with another interesting story. Till then, keep watching CNBC TV 18.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.